Okay, start with multicolored. Artful Takedown. 1 black, 1 blue, 2 others. Choose one or both. Tap target creature. Target creature gets -2, -4 till end of turn. That's good. That's removal. It's blue-black removal and a common. I like that card. I think it's very powerful. Assassin's Trophy. Destroy target permanent opponent controls. If controller may search. Destroy target permanent opponent controls. Controller may search their library for basic land card, put it in the battlefield, and shuffle their library. At instant speed? Holy shit, that card's amazing. It's also rare. But that's amazing. Card's amazing, amazing. Should draft that card if you see it. Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice. 2/5 flyer for 4. White-red flyer. Okay. Angel. Angels seem very mad in Magic. They're always very angry. She's a mentor. Beginning of combat in your turn, you can choose up to 1 target creature you control until end of turn. That creature gets +2/+0, gains trample if it's red, and gains vigilance if it's white. So she, on cast, is a 4 for a 4/5 flying trampler vigilant who mentors people. Holy shit. All right, you better have removal for Aurelia the instant she comes into play. Okay, yep, card is amazing. Beacon Bolt. Deals damage to target creature equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard, and it has Jumpstart. Oh, that's cool. So this card's not very good, but it's going to have synergy blue-red instant sorcery decks, like kind of the same way that Adalez has blue-red instant sorcery synergies. The Jumpstart's nice because it's going to get you a 2-for-1. I mean, you play a land, so I guess it's kind of a 2-for-2, but it's a land late game. Card's cool. It's going to be hard to use, but it's going to be cool if you can build a deck that uses it. I think it's reasonable, but not amazing. It's still damage-based removal, so it's not good. Beam Splitter Mage. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Beam Splitter Mage, if you control 1 or more other creatures the spell could target, choose one of those creatures, copy that spell. The copy targets the Holy shit, that's a lot of text to say that. So when you buff him with the combat trick, it buffs your other creature too. Goofy artwork. Kind of cool, but goofy. Doesn't look very good. 2 for a 2/2 is okay. Again, it's going to be this mythical blue-red aggro deck that you have a bunch of Sure Strikes in, and once in the entire playthrough in Limited, once in the entire draft, you will happily Sure Strike it twice, and they'll Lightning Bolt him. Meh. It's okay, but not great. It's cool if it ever triggers. It's just never going to trigger. Boros Challenger. 2 for a 2/3 mentor against... This guy seems significantly better. Better stats, a mentor ability, and an ability to buff himself, so mentoring more of your shit. It's annoying as hell. Card seems good. Not amazing, but good. Much better than that card. Alright, Camaraderie. 6 between white, green, and 4 others. You gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures you control. Creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn. That's not good enough. That's too much mana for too little impact. You probably a lot of times... I mean, it's white-green. Maybe your board state is stalled forever and you get like 8 cards off of it and then it's good. But I feel like most of the time you're going to have this in your hand. It's going to be like X is 2. X is 3. I mean, it's not like creatures you control get +X/+X till end of turn. They get +1/+1. So you get +1/+1, you draw 3 cards, and you gain 3 life for 6 mana as a sorcery. Yeah, I don't like that card. I don't think that card's very good. It's going to be card times when it blows me out, but it's going to blow me out in these really weird locked board states that probably don't occur too often. So, I don't think so. Centaur Peacemaker, 3 for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, each player gains 4 life. This card's very solid. This is going to be anti-aggro, where you don't care about giving your opponent 4 life, but you very much care about giving yourself 4 life, and a 3/3 body for 3 is totally decent. It's not good, but it's decent. Has a very clear role, very clear design. It's cool. I like it. Chance for Glory. Creatures you control gain indestructible. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. Card shouldn't be in limited. I hope it's not in limited. So you attack with everything. They block. You play. All my guys are indestructible. Lol, lol, lol. And I get another turn. fucking crazy. That card's... I hope... Is this going to be unlimited? This card looks ridiculous. This is a troll card. Indestructible on all creatures you control is a nuts effect. Getting a second turn to attack is a nuts effect. This is red-white aggro. Wow. All right. All right, somehow this is a reasonable card. All right, Charnel Troll. 1 black, 1 green, 1 colorless, 4/4 trample. Beginning of your upkeep, exile card from your graveyard. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter and otherwise sacrifice it. Discard a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter. This card's nuts. This card runs over a game instantly. Starts as a 4/4 trampler for 3 that you can pay 2 to get +1/+1 and keep it going for another turn. And it tramples, so you can't jump block it. This card's nuts. Opponent better hope he has removal. Doesn't even matter that it kills all your cards to do it. It's just going to run away with the game. All right, Conclave Cavalier. This is the most ridiculous mana cost I've ever seen. Minus the stupid worm that was like $1 million. But this is just like hard to cast with 4 of 2 different colors. 2 of 2 different colors. 4/4 Vigilance. When it dies, create a 2/2 green and white. Okay, card's good. A 4/4 for 4 is good with Vigilance. And creating 2/2 tokens when it dies is good. It's going to be hard to pay for, but if you're just playing green-white with no splash, that's not that hard to pay for. You'll probably play it on 5 most times. So, seems totally reasonable, totally good, but not like game-changing. This card seems game-changing. That card seems game-changing. This card just seems okay. Like, kind of good. It's like, I mean, you can think of it kind of as like 2 cards in 1. It's a 4/4 Vigilant, and then it's also like Call the Cavalry, which is pretty damn good for 4 mana. Just kind of hard. So, I mean, it's going to be... You're never going to be pleased to see your opponent play this because it's going to be strong. But it doesn't create them simultaneously, so it's a value card. And a 4/4 Vigilant creature isn't that scary. Maybe if there's Knight synergies, I guess. Conclave Guild Mage. 2 for a 2/2. Creatures you control gain trample to end of turn. There's our boy. So when we cast this stupid worm on turn 100,000, tapping all of our creatures and dying instantly to our opponent's counterattack, we can then give it trample next turn. That's exciting. And cast 6, create a 2/2 green and white elf knight creature token with vigilance. Yeah, that's not in the least bit exciting. This card is not exciting. This card is... It's totally playable because it's 2 for a 2/2 that does other things. But it's not exciting. 6 mana is really expensive for a 2/2 white token. And giving creatures you control gain trample as a tap effect is not super amazing. I guess it prevents some chump blocking. Doesn't seem that great. Alright. Crackling Drake, 2 blue, 2 red for a star 4 flyer. Its power is equal to the total number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. When it dies, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Huh. So it's a more expensive Enigma Drake that has harsher casting requirements, but draws you a card. This is the once in a entire draft for the entire time that the set is active, where you get your double Beam Splitter Mage, double Beacon Bolt, double Crackling Drake deck, and then you brick on mana and you never get to play any of your fucking spells. Yeah, I think it doesn't seem very strong to me. I think it's going to be very hard to play. You're going to need the perfect deck for this. I mean, if it's a 3/4 flyer or even a 2/4 flyer for 4 that you can cast reliably that draws you a card, then it's good. Like, if that's the power level, 4 for a 2/4 flyer that draws you a card, it's good. That's a good card. If blue red, like 2 blue and 2 blue mana and 2 red mana isn't massively painful to cast, then it's a totally reasonable card for even two instants or sorcerers in your graveyard. Yep, and Surveil does allow you to put stuff in your graveyard faster. So maybe it's very good if you can figure that out. There were a lot of blue Surveil cards, although blue as a color looked pretty weak to me. I haven't seen a lot of red Surveil cards. So... I don't know. Maybe you just mentor him, chat. Red has mentor effects. Darkblade Agent. 3 for a 2/3. As long as you're surveilled this turn, Darkblade Agent has Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. That card's nuts. 2/3 for 3 is really good. Blue-black are the 2 colors that have a bunch of surveil effects, unlike blue-red. And Death Touch is a very strong effect, as is drawing a card if you do damage. Card looks amazing. Deafening Clarion, red, white, 1 other. Deals 3 damage to each creature. What? Seriously? Or both? So you can either deal 3 damage to all creatures, Or you gain, creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn, and you get to choose. Card's amazing. That's so good. All right, maybe not. Maybe you're just sitting there and like you don't ever have creatures above 3 toughness as white red, and it just kills all your creatures. But this is a situational like quasi Wrath of God effect. Card looks amazing. Yeah, red white looks disgusting and limited. If you pick up a Chance for Glory or the Deafening Clarion, you're gonna have all these ridiculous things you can do. The red white cards are pretty good too. The Angels are nuts. Aurelia, the Boros Challenger was fine. Red white seems so strong looking at this. All right. Demir Spybug, excuse me. 1 blue, 1 black, a 1/1 flying menace. When you surveil, put a +1. This card's good. Black blue is gonna surveil all the fucking time. 2 mana, 1/1 flyer with menace that grows nonstop. It's gonna be annoying as shit. Card's gonna be good. Disinformation campaign. 1 blue, 1 black, 1 other. When it enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. Each opponent discards a card. Whenever you surveil, return disinformation. What? Seriously? Okay. I mean, I guess 3 mana is a lot for that, but it's not a lot. You draw a card and your opponent discards a card. That's not a lot for 3 mana. That's good. Whenever you surveil, you bounce it? What? All right, well, blue-black got better. Well, I read through the blue cards, and I'm like, man, that's not very good. You look at the blue-black cards. This is an uncommon. Darkblade Agent's common. Spybug's an uncommon. I just don't think it's anywhere near as good as red-white. And actually, black-green looks pretty strong, too. Artful Takedown is really good, too, though. There's some seriously strong uncommons in here. All right, we're not like halfway through the uncommons. All right, Amara, Soul of the Accord. 2/2 for 2. It's a rare. Whenever it enters, becomes tap, create a 1/1 on white with soldier, create one with lifelink. Eh. All right. You know what makes a strong chat? Mentoring. You still got to attack with a 2/2, and it's got to live to do this more than once. I'm not that excited about that card. Erstwhile Trooper, 3 for a 2/2. Discard a creature card. Erstwhile Trooper gets +2/+2 against trampled end of turn. Activates ability only once each turn. Moderate power, not super strong. Your opponents are always going to be around to be able to play around that. Unlike Omnivore, where you can sacrifice multiple creatures to it, this is you can only do it once per turn. So you have a fairly good idea of the power range this creature is going to be. It's going to let you bluff attacks occasionally. It's going to let you get damage in you when otherwise your opponents don't want to make blocks. And 3 for a 2/2 is an all right but not good body. Discarding a creature card in limited is a pretty hefty cost. Not super excited by that. Etrada the Silencer, 4 for a 3/3, 3/5. Can't be blocked. When it deals combat damage to the player, exile target creature that play. What? All right, whenever it deals combat, it can't be blocked, first of all, just straight up. 4 for a 3/5 can't be blocked is good, period. Now, when it does deal damage to combat damage to a player, exile target creature that player controls and put a hit counter on that card. The player loses the game if they own 3 or more exile cards with hit counters on them. Etra's owner shuffles Etra into their library. Oh, I see. Oh, never mind. The last part is what kills it. I'm like, seriously? Nah, it's less good. So what happens is you're recasting it, right? It attacks, it does damage, it does 3 damage, puts a hit counter on it, it exiles that card, and then it shuffles back into your deck. As it is, that's pretty good. Because you can choose when to attack with it. A 3/5 blocker for 4 is fine. It's going to draw removal. The instant they play a good creature, you attack past them because they can't block it, do 3 damage to them, exile that creature, and put them on a clock to lose the fucking game. It's still good. It's still really good. But I was initially reading this and I thought it was just the most insane thing I've ever read in my life. Yeah, it's still really good. Don't get me wrong. Super good. Especially if you're like surveilling your deck down super fast and you just get to draw it all the time. It's going to kill you and it's going to be annoying when it does. And it's a really neat card because you don't see a lot of effects that act that way. Yeah, definitely strong. All right, Firemind's Research. 1 blue, 1 red enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it. Remove 2 charge counters from it. Draw a card. Remove 5 charge counters from it. Deals 5 damage to any target. Yeah, okay, imaginary fucking limited synergy deck where you have enough instants and sorceries, and now you're running 4 things that aren't instants or sorceries that are blue-red synergy. I'll believe it when I see it. Card's fine if you have a bunch of instants and sorceries. I don't believe you're going to get enough of them in draft to make this playable. All right, Garrison Sergeant, another Boros card. All right, it has double strike as long as you control a gate. So it's a 3/3 double striker for 3, so long as you get gates. What's the commonality of gates? Are they showing up at some point in here? Oh my god, there's so much shit left. Are they common? They're common. Five for a 3/3 double striker is not bad as costs go. Double strike is a powerful ability. You're always trading up with it. Oftentimes you're just killing shit. If it goes to face, it does 1,000,000 damage. It's particularly good if you can get buff spells on it. It's an annoying as shit ability to deal with. I think this card's probably just playable. If you can get enough common gates, and if you can get even a couple of gates in your deck so you're seeing them like 50% of the time you cast this card, it's probably good enough to play. Oh, it's 1 gate per pack? Sure. All right. Let's remind me, chat, just never to draft anything except white-red. Maybe blue-black, maybe green-black, but probably just white-red. All right, let's look at the Glowspore Shaman, 2 for a 3/1. Whenever it enters the battlefield, put top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. You may put a land card from your graveyard on top of your library. No. I don't like that card at all. I better have sick fucking graveyard synergies to play this, because that sounds terrible. All right, Goblin Electromancer. So I mill myself, put cards in my graveyard, guarantee that my next card is a land draw. What if I draw this in the late game? What if I draw this at like, is it a May? It's a May. At least it's a May. So it is a May. Meh. I guess if it's a May, if I don't have to put the land on the top of my fucking deck, then I'm okay with it. Because then it's just a 3/1 for 2. But a 3/1 for 2 is so totally unexciting, especially when it's two different colored mana sources, right? I can play Knight of New fucking Benalia for 1 white, 1 colorless as a 3/1. And I don't have to mill myself. And I don't have to put land on top of my library. I better have sick graveyard synergy to play this card. All right, Goblin Electromancer. Look, it's another instant sorcery synergy. They're pushing the instant sorceries. Too bad I didn't see a lot of instants and sorceries. All right, Golgari Finebroker, 2 green, 2 black for 3/4. Enters the battlefield. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Seems very strong all around. 4 mana, 3/4 is decent, maybe even good. 2 green, 2 black. If we're playing just dual color decks, that's totally doable. It's a little bit harder with tricolor decks. And pulling a card from your library or from your graveyard to your hand, especially if you're using black to surveil, is totally decent. I think that's fine. Hammer Dropper, another Boros card. A 5/2 Mentor for 4. All right, chat. Every time I read a red card in this set, I just go, why don't we draft some more Sure Strikes? Sure. It's fucking 5/2 that mentors all your guys. It's gonna mentor every creature you ever attack with always. For 4. Seems good. Okay. House Guildmage, 2 mana, 2/2. Target creature doesn't untap during its next untap phase. That's powerful. Oh, it doesn't tap it though. It just keeps it tapped. That's a little less powerful. And Surveil 2 for 3. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is 2 for a 2/2. This is a great body with very interesting effects that are very synergetic. You should draft this card a lot. It's good. It lets you saturate your mana in the mid game, and it still can be a blocker. What is this? Hypothesizel. 5 mana instant. Draw 2 cards, and you may discard a non-land card. When you do, it does 4 damage to target creature. It's good. 5 mana is a little pricey on that. It's an instant. Too bad it's a non-land card. Still playable though. Okay. Ionize rather, excuse me. Ionize. For 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 other, counter target spell, deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. I don't think this is significantly better than any counter spell. I guess you can, because it's rare and it uses 1 blue instead of 2 blue, you can definitely make your opponent think you don't have a counter spell when you do it. So I guess you can surprise counter their bombs. All right, Zoni Thousand-Eyed. For 2 green, 2 black, and 2 others, so 6 mana, 2/3. You create 1/1 black and green insect creatures for each creature in your graveyard. Sacrifice another creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. It's cool. Seems strong. It's expensive, but kind of a strong effect. You better have a stalled board, though, because that's really fucking slow. Bunch of chump blockers that you can sack for life and draw. It's pretty cool. Join shields. 1 green, 1 red. Oh, excuse me. 1 green, 1 white, 3 others. Untap all creatures you control that gain hexproof and indestructible to end of turn. What a fuck you card. Alright. You're just playing a normal game of Magic. Having fun interactions. You're playing a tempo game. Your opponent attacks you. You attack them. You make good blocks. You make aggressive attacks. You're playing the tempo game. Then suddenly your opponent goes, no, I untap all my creatures. They're hexproof and indestructible to end of turn. You can't interact with them whatsoever. Surprise, you better be running counter magic. Otherwise, all your creatures are dead. And you lost the game. How do you feel about that? What a ridiculous card. Get this fucking card out of here. Untap all creatures as an instant. And they gain indestructible. Card's ridiculous. It's expensive, but it's ridiculous. It's going to just swing a game. It's going to swing a game from a game that you've been grinding out for 10 turns where you're ahead incrementally. And it's going to switch that around from a win to an instant loss. Yeah. Justice Strike. 2. Target creature deals damage to itself equal to... Target damage to itself equal to its power. Sure. You're going to get a lot of kill targets with that. Seems just fine. It's a little bit clunky, but it's a 2 mana instant removal spell. I think that's pretty good. Knight of Autumn. 3 for a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, choose 1. Put 2+1/+1 counters on it. So it's actually 3 for a 4/3. Or destroys target artifact and enchantment. Or you gain 4 life. Yep, that's totally playable. It's very flexible. Seems very strong. Okay. Lazaz the Multifarious. 1/3 for 2. It's a legendary creature shapeshifter. When it enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Pay X. Becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with converted mana across X, except its name is Lavaz. It's legendary in addition to other types and has the... Wow. Wow. Okay, what a cool card. So now we see some synergies with Surveil again. Another synergetic card. This is a mythic rare. You're never going to play it, but it's going to be amazing when you do. Super cool ability, too. Do it as an instant. And it keeps that effect. And it's a 1/3 body for 2. An emergency, too. What a cool card. Very cool. I think it's pretty strong, too. League Guild Mage. 1 blue, 1 red, 2/2. Tap 4, draw card. 1 red, X others. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control with converted mana cost X. You may choose a new target for the spell. Well, it's a grizzly that does incredible things. 4 draw cards, amazing in of itself. And then the red thing that you'll never do, where you cast an instant or sorcery spell and you duplicate it. Card's good. Quite good. Ledev Champion. 1 green, 1 white, 1 colorless. When it attacks, you may tap any target of untapped creatures you control. Gets +1/+1 to end of turn for each creature tapped. Create a white soldier creature token with lifelink. Feels like a win more card. 3 for a 2/2. Can't attack with this. I mean, I guess you can attack into a battlefield with this by tapping all your other creatures and then getting counterattacked. But you don't care if you get counterattacked because, surprise, you join shields and win the game fucking instantly. I don't think this card's very good. 5 generate a 1/1 life token creatures, kind of whatever. I mean, again, mentoring. You know, every 1/1 white creature in chat's mind is a 5/5 trampler. So, doesn't seem very good to me. I don't know. See, 5 for a 1/1 lifelink token seems not that great. Legion Guild Mage. 2 for a 2/2. Deals 3 damage to each opponent for 6 and tap another target creature for 3. It's 2 for a 2/2. Again, any of the 2 for 2/2s that do things are pretty damn good for me. It's very easy to get to the 2 meta of the primary colors you're playing and then have a bunch of additional effects to this. Seems super strong. March of the Multitudes. 2 white, 1 green, X others. Convoke. Create X 1/1 white creature as an instant. This card's good. The instant part's what sold me on this. Stalled board. Your opponent passes the turn. You, at the end of your turn, spend 1,000 mana because it's turn 999 because you're playing white-green and you've stalled the board. you create 1,000 white soldier tokens, which you then attack them with 3 mentors, making them 4 mentors, all of whose power is greater than 5, making them 5/5 white soldier tokens. And then, when your opponent survives that, you just immediately join shields on their turn. Laughing all the way to the bank. Card seems good, though. For real, seems good. Because Convoke as an instance really strong. So you can pay a very big cost to create a shit ton of tokens pretty reasonably at the end of the turn. Memnotic Betrayal. 1 blue, 1 black, 1 other sorcery. Exile all cards from opponent's graveyards. You may cast those cards this turn. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any type. Beginning of the next end step, if any of those cards remain exiles, return them to their owner's graveyards. Lol. What a cool card. Expensive, slow, probably not very good. You're going to be casting removal, and you're probably only going to be casting 1 removal most of the time, but very fun. It doesn't look very good to me, honestly, but it looks very fun. All right, Mulder Hulk. A 9 mana black-green card. It's a 6/6. Costs 1 less for each creature card in your graveyard. So call it a 7 mana. Let's see, three creatures. Let's say a 6 mana card for 6/6. When it enters the battlefield, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's pretty mediocre. I guess late game it's a cheap creature, but probably late game you're top decking. I guess if you have a bunch of ways to saturate your mana, then maybe it's very efficient, but it doesn't seem that way. Doesn't seem that good to me. Seems okay. Again, we're only looking at limited formats here because I have no idea how to construct it. It might be amazing constructed for all I know. 2 blue, 2 black, 3/3 flying death touch. Yes. Okay. Oh, it has other things. Hexproof. Yes. A 3/3 flying death touch hexproof creature for 4 mana seems very strong. I would play that a lot. Thank you for asking. Has crazy mana requirements, but only in the fact that it is 2 blue, 2 black. Don't splash. Use gates. You'll be fine. All right. Nizmizit Perun. For 3 blue, 3 red. He's a dragon wizard for a 5/5. Can't be countered flying when you draw a card. He deals 1 damage to any target. When you play or cast an instance or sorcery spell, you draw a card. What in the fuck? Sure. When you get this, you're 1 game, and you draw no instance or sorceries, and you play it on like turn 10 because you don't have fucking 6 lands of different colors. And you feel super sad, but you get to play it and say you're the only person in the entire universe who's played this card. I see that you're trying very hard with these blue-red synergy decks, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. It's 5/5 flyer for 6 mana that does things. It's gonna be good, but I don't know, man. I guess you're playing dual-colored decks in this format. There's so many strong of these gold cards that are double or triple cast, especially double cost, both colors. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. 6/6 fire for 5 is fine. Excuse me, a 5/5 fire for 6 is fine, even. And all these other things are just cake on that, right? Total cake. All right. Notion Rain. 1 blue, 1 black, 1 other. Break the Matrix. Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. Notion Rain deals 2 damage to you. Yeah, that's fine. It's a sorcery, not an instant, unfortunately, but it's basically a divination that has a little bit more digging on front of it. It's like Scry 2, and then Scry 2, draw 2, but you also get graveyard synergies and surveil synergies. Card's good. It's very good. All right, Okran Assassin. 1 green, 1 black, 1 other. It's a 1/1. Death touch. All creatures able to block it must do so. Hilarious. Yep, card's good. It's like a build. It's like they decided that M19. They're like, you know, it's really cool. Declare dominance in the Basilisk. That's really cool. Why don't we just have a card that does both of them on its own? So get a pump spell, attack them with Okran Assassin, laugh hysterically. All right, what does this do? Rawl is it Viceroy? He's 5 for Planeswalker. I don't want to read his shit. Look, I mean, we're never going to see him. He's a mythic. I'll draft him once. All right, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put 1 of them onto your hand, the other onto your library. Okay, that's good. He pays -3, deals damage to target creature equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards you own or in exile in your graveyard. Hilarious. Sure. I hope they do this. I hope they give us 100 creatures and 100 different triggers that all pull off blue and red instants and sorceries, and they include no blue or red instants and sorceries that you want to play except Sure Strike. So that's what I want to see. I just want to see a player who's like, he Sure Strikes his own creature like 10 times every round. What's the -8? You get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or sorcerer spell that deals 4 damage to any target and you draw 2 cards. All right, so you just win if you ever get to -8. He starts with 5. So your opponent really has 4 turns to kill him, right? Because you plus it 3 times and minus him once and win. All right. I mean, it's a 5-mana Planeswalker. It's playable. It draws you cards. If you play a Planeswalker Unlimited that draws you cards, you win the game. So just protect it and win. It doesn't even matter what the rest of the cards do. The text could literally just be draw a card. It could be, that could be it. There's no minuses, no anything. It's just draw a card, has 5 health, win the game. That would be fine. All right, Rhizome Lurcher. 1 green, 1 black, 2 others, 2/2, enters battlefield number +1/+1 counters equal number of creature cards in your graveyard. Not bad. I think it's okay. It's probably going to be a 5/5 for 4 a lot of times. I think it's a little bit hard to do. You got to be surveilling a lot to make this powerful, and I don't think you're going to have time to do it by turn 4. So if it's like a turn 6 for like a 5/5 or turn 8 for like a 5/5, it's not that powerful. I don't think it's that good. All right, Rosemane Centaur, 5 for a 4/4, Convoke Vigilance. That's a little bit better. You could do like, 2-drop, 3-drop, cast this on 5 style thing, or cast this on 4. It's okay. It's going to be anti-tempo, but it's a decent blocker. If your opponent didn't have a fast opener, it might be okay. I'm not excited by this card anyway, but it's playable. Skyknight Legionnaire, 3 for a 2/2 flying haste. I don't know why we're getting all these flying aggressive red cards. I mean, I don't really want Boros to have evasive creatures on top of their other shit, but they seem to be doing that. This is totally playable. 3 for a 2/2 flying haste is quite good. Sonic Assault. Tap a creature. Deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. This is for tempo. This is blue-red tempo, and you do it twice. This will be good in blue-red tempo decks. It won't be good in other decks. Somalia Woodshaper. 1 white, 1 green, 2 others, 2/1. Enters the battlefield. Look top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or enchantment card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest of them bottom of the library. Creature or enchantment for the top 4. I mean, as white-green, that's what you're going to be playing is more creatures. So you're going to hit pretty damn often and limited. 4 mana for a 2/1. Put another creature card into your hand. It's kind of expensive. Seems okay. You'll probably play it. I'm not excited about the card. I guess, wait for it, if you mentor it, just anything less than a 5/5, chat's on about mentoring. All right, fine. All right, 1 black, 1 green, 2/2. Again, it's a Grizzly Bear that does shit. I don't even have to read past it to know I'll play it. Gain 2 life. Pretty unexciting, but a stalled board, sure. 5 creatures you control get +1/+1 and +1/+0 and menace. Wow. Okay. Pretty solid. You're going to push damage through with a card like that. Swath Cutter Giant. 6 mana, 5/5 vigilance. When it attacks, it deals 1 damage to each creature defending player controls. 6 for a 5/5 is a little bit weak. As a ground-based unit, vigilance is probably one of my least favorite effects. It's useful sometimes, but a lot of times it isn't. But dealing 1 damage to each creature target player controls is fine. I think it's okay. I think you'd play that. You play it if you get it. You're not excited if you get it. You're not too upset. No, chat, you can't have it both ways. It's not rip your tokens. Remember, the tokens have been mentored 45 times at this point, so 1 damage doesn't kill them. And if they haven't been mentored, well, we weren't playing any of those cards, because the cards were only good if we were mentoring them a minute ago. I don't think you can have it both ways, chat. All right, 1/1 double strike, vigilance, trample. It's hilarious. You know what this card's good with? Wait for it. Mentoring. It's really good with mentoring. Grows really... I mean, double strike's a terrifying ability. Double strike, vigilance, and trample is absolutely fucking horrendous. That's really painful to deal with. If this card gets any growth, it's going to kill you. All right, let's take a look. This is another red-white card. Wow, so many. So many red-white cards that are so good. All right, so 3/2 haste with mentor. Prevent all Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. So when he comes into play, you can't remove any of his allies with spells. And he can get first strike anytime he wants for 1 red, 1... Card's amazing. Card is so good. 3/2 haste is good. 3/2 haste with mentor is great. 3/2 haste with mentor that prevents any of your other creatures from being removed is very good. And a 3/2 haste mentor prevents all combat damage that would kill your other creatures, non-combat damage, and gets first strike when you want. What a ridiculous card. All right, Thief of Sanity. 2/2 flyer for 3, black, blue. Just combat damage to a player. Look at the top 3 cards of the player's library. Exile one of them face down and put the rest into their graveyard. As long as that card remains exiled, you may look at it, and you may cast it, and you may spend mana. So, wow. Wow. Okay. So, a 3 mana 2/2 flyer. When you attack them, you steal one of their cards. Put 2 more in their graveyard. So, you mill them 2. Put 1 into your hand, or 1 that you can see. And you can cast it whenever the fuck you want. Card's amazing. So it draws you a card every turn, a selected card, while milling your opponent. And it's evasive. Yep, it's a good one. Thought Erasure. 1 blue, 1 black. Target opponent reveals their hand. Then you choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. Surveil 1. That's very unexciting. It's probably playable. It's pretty damn unexciting. I think Divest is probably... Anyways, sure. I'm probably not playing that card the more I think about that. All right, 1,000-Year Storm is a 6-mana enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant sorcery spell you cast before it this turn. That's not playable in Limited. Forget that. You're never playing that. All right. Trostani Discordant, 5 mana, 1/4. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/1/1 white soldier tokens with lifelink, which are actually 2/2s. At the beginning of your end step, each player gains control of all creatures they own. So it's a lord. It's a lord for all creature types for 5 mana. It summons 2 2/2s when you cast it that have lifelink. Card seems nuts. Card seems extremely good for a white-green deck. If you play this on 5, you probably just win the game. You probably already have a bunch of creatures and a bunch of tokens and mentoring. And then you get a bunch more tokens and a lord in play that does everything. Okay. True Fire Captain, 2 white, 2 red, 4/3 mentor. When it is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player. Oh, man. So you remove it because it's a 4/3 fucking mentor and it's a big pain in your ass. And then it's like, meh. I mean, if you gang block it and you overkill it, it just does damage to target. This card seems good too. I think the red-white creatures are all nuts. I would be really curious to see how it works out. If anything can just handle aggro in this format. I'm always worried about that, and maybe you can. Undercity Uprising, 1 black, 1 green, 2 others. Creatures you control gain death touch at end of turn. Then target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. That seems a little weak. I've been getting kind of like gooey-eyed over all the stuff in this and all the multicolored cards. This one doesn't seem that strong. I mean, it's definitely going to trade your weakest creature for their strongest creature every single time, and maybe let you have an attack that you wouldn't otherwise, but it costs you 4 mana. It's the bulk of your turn. I'm not so super excited about that. Underrealm Lich, 5 for 4/3. If you draw a card, instead look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put 1 in your hand and the rest in your graveyard. That's a really powerful effect that lets you card select. A 4/3 body for 5 is not great, but it's okay. Pay 4 life. Underrealm Lich gains indestructible to end of turn and tap it. Yeah, that's amazing. So you're not killing it, and it's card selection. Card's amazing. Card's super good. Unmoored Ego, black, blue, 1 other. Choose a card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name, and exile them. The target player shuffles their library, then draws a card for each card they exiled from their hand that way. Yep, I'm playing that. I'm playing that in Limited, too. As long as I can sideboard. The first time they play whatever the equivalent of Lyra is, which is whatever, I'll just put this in my fucking deck. I think this is card hate. It's pretty cool. I think you can play that one in Limited, too. I don't think you can main deck it, but it's definitely sideboardable once you know what you're looking for. Can hit basic lands. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards. Oh, it's up to 4. So you can remove, yes, just when they're splashing white. So you never splash in this format. That's very clear. You only ever play 2 colors. Search your library and remove all your planes. Enjoy. All right, what does this card do? It's 4 for a planeswalker. You may sacrifice another permanent. If you do, you gain 1 life and draw a card. That's pretty unexciting. Gains 2 to do that, though. Destroy target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less. Is pretty weak for -3. You gain an emblem with whenever a creature you control deals down combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Starts with 4, so you have to plus it 5 times and then minus it once. I don't think that card's very strong. You have to sacrifice permanents. You're drawing cards for it. You can sacrifice lands, I guess. Late. It's 3 times? 6, 8, 10. Ah, sure. Okay, 3 times. Thanks. Reading a lot of card text. Bear with me. You're right. 3 times you plus it, and then you minus it once. And then if you ever deal combat damage again, they lose the game. All right. I mean, all of its other abilities are so shit, though. But it's -3 to remove our converted mana cost 3 or less creature. That's so bad. Yeah. Yes, you could +2 it for no effect after playing a Planeswalker. That would be fun. All right, let's look at the Wee Dragonauts. 1 blue, 1 red, 1 other for a 1/3 flyer. Whenever you cast an instant... Could we stop with the instant sorcery synergy and no fucking instants of sorceries? I'm sure I'll lose to instant sorcery blue decks for the blue-red decks for the rest of the set, but they look so unexciting to me right now. World Soul Colossus, 1 white, 1 green, X others. Convoke. Enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. It doesn't trample. It can be blocked by multiple creatures or no creatures or 1 creature. It doesn't grow bigger on its own. It's not hexproof. Blah. Who cares? It'll be annoying when they draw it on turn 10 and cast an 8/8 for sure. All right. Fresh-faced recruit. He's either white or red and 1 other. He's a 2/1 as long as it's your turn. He gets first strike. It's totally playable. 2/1 first strike is just fine. Piston Fist Cyclops. 4/3 defender as long as you cast an instant or sorcery. Blah, blah, blah. Instant or sorcery. I'm just going to stop reading the blue-red cards. They're so unexciting. This card remains unexciting. It's a 4/3 for 3 that can attack if you cast a spell. Great. Pitiless Gorgon. 2/2 Death Touch for 3. That's pretty unexciting too. It's okay. I guess when it's either or instead of one of each, then it's like a weaker card for its mana cost. But 2/2 Death Touch is fine. This is a Basilisk. I'll play that. I've played it in the past. I'm happy to play it again. It's not amazing. Vernati Shieldmate. 2/2 Vigilance. This card I've deliberately not played in the past. This is just a 2/2 Vigilant Elf. But you can cast him with white or green. Yep, not very excited about him either. Whisper Agent. 2 and a 1. 3/2 Flash. So it's the 3/2 Trickster dude. Doesn't look that great to me. Surveil 1 is okay, but 3/2 Flash is not that exciting. It always dies when it trades. It's a combat trick that kills something, but it kills something only with 3 toughness, and that you can block, so it doesn't kill evasive creatures. Not super excited about that. I'm not reading these cards. They're turned sideways. If you wanted me to read them, you'd put them in a reasonable way to look at them. The fact that they're sideways makes me grumpy and angry. I really don't think I'm reviewing these cards until they're in a better format. All right. There's 10 of these. When I agreed to do this card list, I wasn't aware there were going to be so many. Put a +1/1 is okay. 2 mana. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. That creature gains indestructible end of turn. That's a very good combat trick. And what does it do afterwards? Create a 3/2/2 green. That's very powerful. I assume these are the ones that sit in your graveyard till you're ready to cast them again. So, combat trick that gives indestructible and a counter, followed by a bunch of creatures, is really strong. Connive is gain control of target creatures with power 2 or less. For 4, it's kind of expensive. Surveil 3, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's another very powerful effect, though. You steal a creature from your opponent for 4 mana. You 2-for-1 them. Yeah, it's low power, but so what? Hopefully they haven't been mentoring. And then you get to take a creature back from your graveyard for 5. And you can select it. Oh, it's not a flashback. It's an either or. It's not both. I guess that makes them flexible. I'm still playing this one. This one is an either or. Probably still playing it. Early game I play it that way. Late game I play it that way. Discovery. Surveil 2, then draw a card. For 2 as a sorcery is not super exciting. And then each opponent returns a normal permanent, a non-land permanent they control with the highest converted mana cost among permanents they control to its owner's hand, then discard a card. What a nasty unsummon. All right. I'd play that card just because it'd be hilarious. when they top deck their answer, you're like, oh, put it back in your hand. They're like, okay, and now discard it. I'm not sure it's good enough to play. The discovery portion did not seem very good, but the other part seems okay. Red, blue, copy target instant or sorcery spell with a converted mana cost 4 or less. You may choose blah, blah, blah. Okay, copying instants. Good luck. Explosion. It's going to do X damage to target any target. Target player draws X cards. 4 and X. Card seems weak and slow. It's a fucking disintegrate that you have to pay 3 extra mana to cast, but you draw cards. I mean, maybe. I guess if you're under no tempo threat whatsoever and you're just like, I'm going to kill this 2/2 and draw 2 cards. I don't know. Find is return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. It's not a very interesting effect. It's a sorcery for 2 mana. And finality, you may put 2/1/1 counters on a creature you control. Then all creatures get -4/-4 till end of turn. That's a pretty strong one. It's also a sorcery, unfortunately. And for 6 mana, it's very expensive. Those don't look very good to me. Flower, search your library for basic force or plains card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Or create creatures you control get +2/+2 to end of turn for 6. Those both seem very weak as well. Very overpriced for what they do. Integrity, target creature gets +2/+2 to end of turn for 1 is a totally decent combat trick. Intervention deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life for 4. This is a definitely playable one. It's either a combat trick or removal. That's pretty damn good. The blue-red one is switch the power and toughness of each of 2 target creatures. Okay. Search your library for an instant or... I'm not reading blue-red cards anymore. I think my least favorite set of cards so far has been blue-red for this. All right, response. Response deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature for 2 mana. That's super strong. Creatures you control gain first strike and vigilance until end of turn. After this main phase, there is an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. So your creatures gain first strike. You get to attack twice. Vigilance and first strike, and they attack twice. So red-white. I could potentially be playing against red-white that attacks me twice. And then after they've attacked me twice, next turn do something like play the fucking card that makes all their creatures invulnerable and they can attack me twice again. So they'll go, all my creatures are invulnerable. All my creatures gain first strike. I attack you twice. I'm like, oh, fuck. I survived that turn. Thank God. My turn, I play my normal card, my normal hand. I just limp a little bit bleeding from 100,000 wounds. And he's like, chance for glory. My creatures are indestructible and I attack you 25 times. Seems very unreasonable to me. That card's really good, if we're not clear on that. If I wasn't clear, it's really good. All right, target creature gets +1/+1 and death touch to end of turn as an instant. That's nuts. And or destroy target creature, artifact, or enchantment. That's a very good one too. So there's some really good ones in here. Really good one. Okay, deep breath.